You're live, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for our December 8th, 2025 Bartholomew County Commissioners meeting. And this morning, Tony London will lead us in invocation pledge. You can stand and rise in this room. Please do so. Tony, floor is yours.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful Monday morning in December, entering into the Christmas season. Thank you for the gift of your Son. Thank you for all you do for us that we are so undeserving of. Please be with us today as we do the work of the county for the people that sent us here. Please be with us to help us make good decisions today. Please be with all of those that are suffering through this holiday season. Please bring them comfort. Please be with all the people that protect us, the first responders, and our soldiers around the world. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Tony. Yeah, and the two additional notes, of course, yesterday was December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. So we never want to forget that. And then finally, I just happen to think, you got to sympathize with all football kickers. And I think I saw a quote yesterday. They are either a hero or a zero. And
Well, he's my hero.
they, it's kind of like free throws in a basketball game, but maybe even more so. And enough of that. First item on the agenda, approval of last week's minutes.
I'll move to approve our minutes.
Second.
Got a motion from Larry and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Motion carried. Next item is the approval of claims.
Move to approve claims.
Second.
Got a motion from Tony and a second to approve claims. Questions about claims? All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed. Motion carried. Next item is the approval of payroll. I will move to approve payroll.
Second.
Motion by myself, second from Tony. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed. Motion carried. Under weekly reports, our new permit report showed another pretty big building week here in Bartholomew County. 36 permits issued, fees collected $8,996. Estimated value of construction $5,953,218. This report's always available up in the code enforcement office. And compared to several years ago, Paul, when you were here, our permits this year have been unbelievable, just unbelievable, both in numbers and values. And of course, stuff has went up a bunch too since you left office. That's the sad part. So homes that cost 200,000 then are 600 now. So our next report, County Highway. Our engineer, Danny Hollander, is with us this morning. Good morning, Danny.
Good morning, Dan.
Or Danny.
The crew report for last week, mostly just plowing and salting roads. And we worked on signs and we picked up some tires that were dumped in the right of way. Worked on the trucks after the snow and got cleaned up and got ready for the next snow.
Are we good with being able to mix brine now?
Yeah, we're working on that today. Move the
Okay.
tanks over, getting it ready to go. That's all I have for today.
Anything else?
You want
Go
to
ahead.
let him, I wanted to have some questions for Danny.
Yeah,
You want to order him?
yeah, Jim, I'll give you a word to go ahead and open any bids that we need to have open this morning. Go ahead.
Danny, last week we got notice that Bartholomew County was not awarded any money from the Community Crossings Grant from NDOT.
But we also got notice that they were gonna reduce the state tax on our gas, right?
Boy, wouldn't that be nice? So
I'm fibbing when I say
can
that.
I just want to talk a little bit about that because I have lots and lots of problems with it. One of my biggest problems with it is an unelected body deciding what municipalities get tax dollars. I'm reaching out to NDOT today to find out more information about how that process works. And I hope that they'll be forthcoming with information. I talked to commissioners in other counties. Putnam County got 0. Hendricks County got 0.
Montgomery County.
Montgomery, Owen,
Shelby.
Shelby, from what I think, got 0. The city of Columbus did get $1 million at their full ask, and I'm grateful for that. But I want to understand better how those decisions are made. So I'm going to go down that road. Can you tell us a little bit about the creation of the CCMG? I believe it started in 2016, the Community Crossings Matching Grant, where they said, hey guys, we got a great idea for you. If you got $1 million, we'll give you $1 million for your roads. We had to beg for tax dollars that should rightfully be distributed to the municipalities without this process. And that's my opinion. And, how did that, do you have any history on how that came about? And what did they do before that?
Well, we didn't have anything. We just had our regular distributions. Then I don't know why they came up with that process where, you had to apply and get a portion of it to, get an extra amount distributed to you.
So right now we get, I think the state has 3 different kinds of tax on a gallon of fuel. They have a sales tax, an excise tax, and a 1 penny. I don't even know what they call it. But right now we are funded for our highway garage through the excise tax. Is that correct?
Right.
And we get based on road miles, population, and registered vehicles.
Right.
We get roughly $4 million in our motor vehicle highway fund.
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna hit like almost 4.6 this year.
Okay, and then we get another $1 million for roads,
Yeah, local road and street funds.
local road street fund, which we've always got. Maybe not that amount, but
Right.
that's how it was funded. It's based on those things. Why don't they do the sales tax that way? Why don't they distribute it in the exact same format?
Well, they are gonna distribute it, part of it. That's why the money went down. They're just gonna distribute part of it next year.
Yes, they dropped from 350 million down to $100 million.
Right. The other
And-
250 is gonna be distributed, based on your lane miles.
Okay. And the letter we received, the denial letter, mentioned that there would be a second call in July, so please apply again. But
Well,
their own website says there's only going to be 1 call this year.
yeah, this is the 25 call.
Yeah.
And then the one next July will be the 26 call. No, it's a year later.
Yeah.
Next July will be the 27 call, and this one was the 26 call.
Okay.
So, yeah, just one a year, and from now on, they're gonna be in July.
Okay.
But this one was late, because of all the changes, so they didn't have a call until, September, whenever they had.
So we normally spend about $3 million on our local roads. And we have 700 miles of county roads, 1,400 lane miles, give or take. So it was originally $1 million match for $1 million in Bartholomew County. Brown
That's what we
County,
did for years.
Brown
Only
County,
the last couple have we bumped to 3.
Right, just last two, right.
Brown County only has to match 20 cents on the dollar. We have to match $1 per dollar.
That's based on population.
Based on population. But so we've been spending about $3 million because you get the $1 million from the road fund. We took $500,000 out of seeded to match, to get the maximum match of the CCMG. And we would pave or chip seal roughly 30 miles, right? Which would allow our roads to
We chip
last.
seal maybe 30 or 50 to 60.
Yeah, but
We'd overlay
25, 30.
30, 25, yeah.
Which would allow us to basically rotate our roads every 30 years,
Yeah.
roughly. And with proper maintenance, we have pretty good roads in Bartholomew County.
Well, we try.
No, we do have. Anybody that drives in surrounding counties knows we have pretty good roads. And so how many are we gonna, if our council doesn't give us additional money in 2026, how much will we be able to do? 10 miles
10 probably, yeah.
with no chip and seal,
We may be able to get a little chip seal in there too, but yeah.
which means roads are gonna have to last 50 years. They don't last 50 years, do they, Danny?
70 years. We got 700 miles, we're only doing 10, that's gonna be.
Well, I went to IU, I'm not a math.
70.
So ask the Purdue guy for the money. But the bottom line is, our roads are gonna suffer.
Yeah, they'd have to, yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had to say. I'm very frustrated by this, if you can't tell.
And I'm trying to think, Danny, prior to that grant process, they just award us a figure, a lump sum.
It was special legislation that started that thing, because before there wasn't any gas tax went to the highway fund. It all went to the general fund, state general fund.
Oh, okay. Gas tax went to the state general fund.
And I think at that time, the gas tax increased also. There was a sizable increase
There was
that generated the
Extra money.
funds for that program.
the first increase in years and years. By the way, rough math, but I did some research. State of Indiana sells a little over 8 million gallons of gas a day in the state of Indiana. And they bring in close to $2 billion a year in gas tax, different gas taxes. And now we are going to get 0 from the sales tax. And I'm thinking, again, rough IU math, that we pay about $40 million a year in gas tax in Bartholomew County. Brad had a question.
Yeah, Brad.
Yeah, Danny, do you know did Andrew Becker, did he do anything differently as part of his application? Is there like any insight you can provide as to like?
No, they've never released any kind of scoring or why some projects rate.
They just kind of say, this is what you got, and they don't provide.
Yeah, and then they go by who got, I mean, we got $1.5 million this spring, and I don't think the city got anything in the spring call, so I don't know if that contributed to it.
Yeah, I think maybe they applied for the full at the start of the year and got that.
No, they got a full one in the spring too, and,
Yeah, they did. They got a full ask.
well, I don't know, there's never been any, rationale on who gets what,
So part of my request, Brad and Danny, when I call NDOT after this meeting, is I have 3 questions. I want to know the names of the people on the committee that made the decision. I want to know the criterion that was used to make the decision. And I want the minutes of every meeting where that was discussed. I'd like to get an answer to that same question, Brett.
And then I know that you all were going to, as part of the budget process, we're going to try to budget in the 1.5 million that you typically give. Were you able to do that?
No, the council took that out to make the budget balance properly. Expecting to get $1 million from the community crossings, hoping to get $1 million, expecting to get at least $500,000.
And just be clear, this has nothing to do with the wheel tax, right?
We don't know.
Because
Good question.
Doesn't the county have until September of next year to make a decision on that? And then it's for 27?
It's not a requirement for this year,
Okay.
for 26. But the city
It
also,
maybe it played into their decision.
well, the city of Columbus also declined to implement a wheel tax and they got a full $1 million. So I don't know how much that had to do with it.
But it is until September 2026 for the 27 disbursement.
I thought it was 25. It was 26 for the wheel tax? Yeah, 26.
Wasn't there verbiage in a bill that passed
1461, HB
That-
1461.
mentioned the need for a wheel tax?
Yeah. Fortunately, Ryan Lauer voted against it. Our other two
Legislators.
legislators that touch Bartholomew County voted for it.
So at some point, that will be in effect if it's in the bill.
After next year, if we don't, after next
Don't have
year,
a
if we
wheel
don't have
tax,
a
you
wheel
get
tax,
nothing.
we're not eligible for any of
So
it.
when you call the state, Tony, when you call them today, and I know you will, once again, ask if we can opt out.
Opt out of sales tax.
Now, we'll still be eligible,
Sales tax.
we'll still be eligible to
Still-
apply for community crossings.
Yeah, but
we
it's gonna
won't-
be
we won't
way,
get-
way,
We won't get the distribution that's just passed out. There's gonna be a state distribution for the people with a wheel tax. And then those that don't, or everybody can still apply for community crossings.
Again, this is just mind boggling to me, and we have a member of our council in the room today. We don't need a wheel tax. We don't need an additional tax to take care of our roads. If everybody plays by the same rules. The idea of forcing us to institute a tax to get some of the other taxes we should be rightfully entitled to is absolutely mind boggling to me. Tax, tax, tax. All right, I'll get off my soap.
Keep going.
Anything else, Dan?
Do we need to talk about last week's bid or is that later on or? is that-
We'll mention it in miscellaneous. Yeah. Our next item then, we have second reading. We're considering an ordinance creating a fixed asset capitalization and inventory policy. And I'm gonna look at Pia again. Pia, you want to speak to it briefly?
So this is something that's necessary and asked for by State Board of Accounts. And we will be implementing a fixed asset capital asset software. This policy allows for that. Sets out how we're going to do so. At last meeting, I asked that we become more vague as to who that vendor would be, so that we're not pigeonholing ourselves in our policy with who that software vendor is. We identified one, but I thought that it would be better to have this as just say that we're gonna have a software rather than which one. And I also asked, something else that State Board of Accounts has asked for is that we have in our procurement policy that we make sure that any of our vendors have not been suspended or disbarred from doing business in the United States or in the state of Indiana. So, and those changes have been incorporated in this, so I would ask that you approve this policy.
We passed this last week on first reading, and since this is an ordinance, we will open it up again to the floor. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this ordinance. Brad?
Do most counties already have something like this? Is this common among counties? To have something like this in place previously? Like, I'm trying to get a sense of, is Bartholomew
Probably.
County early, late, you know?
Probably State Board of Accounts is just, like so many things, is wanting you to layer on more and more policies. And we had not had an asset, a fixed asset software because we were changing our financial software. So this was somewhat delayed because of that.
And Brad, every audit meeting that I've attended, we have one yearly with the State Board of Accounts. They have always lit us up over this policy or our procedures and the methods that we had on the books. With all of our asset management, recordings of assets. And this is, I felt like it was more than they had requested in the past, but it is consistent with what they're requesting now. So we're gonna try to approve it today.
And you say always, how long is always?
I've been here a number of years and the chairman always attends that hearing. But everyone that I have attended, or almost everyone that I can remember, we've always been written up on our asset policies,
So like 20 years?
at least 20 years.
Thank you.
I mean, isn't that fair to say,
That's
Pete?
fair.
It's
I mean,
always been, now the
it's always been
ordinance.
like, you should do this, you should do this. And finally, they're like, you gotta
Right,
do it.
and one year we even hired a consulting firm and made an effort to get an asset documented and recorded, all of our assets. And then because there's nobody that's in charge of it, it kind of wanes and you never get to it. And we find ourselves every year deficient. So
It's one of those things too, that it's a huge undertaking on the front end to capture your data of all of the assets that Bartholomew County owns. And then a process to maintain that. So this is what that.
Anybody else? Seeing no one, my only comment is, Brad, I bet we're not the only county in the state, because this is just another job that somebody in county government, actually one person can't do all this. It's gonna be delegated to our department heads. And I can hear the grumblings before it happens. But I would defend that, there's multiple counties in the state that are exactly like this.
And honestly, I mean, my honest opinion is that it's somewhat of an overkill process. We've survived for decades without it. We keep very good track of our buildings. We update our appraisals of those buildings so that in the event of a catastrophe, we're current on our assessed values and appraised values. But we've never really dealt with smaller end items. And this requires a certain level of an asset be recorded. So it creates extra work. And for what? I don't know. In the event, yeah. So anyway, but we've got to do it to stay on good terms.
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing it.
So commissioners, here we are for second reading.
Did you have a public hearing? You did. didn't
Yeah,
you?
and I closed the public hearing. So I'm ready for a motion.
I would move to approve this consideration of an ordinance creating fixed asset capitalization and rate policy on second reading.
I'll second.
I've got a motion from Tony and a second to approve this ordinance on second reading. It's ordinance 2025-09. And everybody has heard what it's about. All in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Thank you. Thank you, Pia.
Thank you.
The next item, we've got a decision here on our storage building, and we have Steve Rubel from Strand. If you want to speak to it, Steve, or we can just go with it here.
I think you can just move forward.
Okay, we opened the bids last Monday. We had one bidder, Larry Moore Construction out of Flat Rock, Indiana, very reputable and respected builder in the area. That base bid was $740,350, and it was less than the engineer's probable construction cost estimate. And so I think we're ready to award that bid. This will be paid out of seeded funds.
I'll make a motion that we accept and award that bid to Larry Moore Construction, $740,350.
I'll second.
We got a motion from Larry and a second to award that bid to Larry Moore Construction out of Flat Rock for the Fairgrounds Storage Building. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried.
I will say, when we saw there was one bid, we were kind of sweating it
Yeah,
because we tried this once before and we didn't get any bids.
yeah.
But the fact that it was Larry, who has done work for the county before and always done it well and built a heck of a building. And it was actually quite a bit less than our estimate. So we're fortunate to have this bid.
Our next item then, we have a ratification of an expenditure with Maintenance Department. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning.
And you want to talk to us briefly about this?
Yes, back at the end of June, we had a cooling tower go down on this building, which heats and cools this whole building. We was able to get it back going, but we needed to replace it. And to replace that was gonna take 14 to 18 weeks to get the piece of equipment. It finally come in and we was able to install it here last month. The cost of that unit itself was $87,500. And to install it using crane and rebuilding the bridge and stuff underneath of it. And the piping electric was $21,580.
Rick, I thought sure that we ran that unit through our meeting back in
No, we
June.
did not.
But we didn't. And Tina did the research and couldn't find it, so
It was one of those deals where we had to get it
ordered
ordered.
that day. And I
Ordered
recall it because I spoke with you and I remember it real well. I just thought we ran it through our meeting to go ahead and order that.
I remember it being very hot.
Yeah, it was very hot.
Did we not have to close the building because of the heat?
Yeah.
It was an emergency situation.
Rick and his maintenance group put a couple Band-Aids on it and made it through the summer and got us to, well, I think you had to have Circle R actually
Yeah, they was.
come in and help you that date as well.
We was able to get it back going within a day and a half, so.
Yeah.
I'll
And
make a motion, Carl, that we ratify this expense total, including labor, $109,080.
Second.
got a motion from Larry and a second to ratify this expenditure for this building, heating and cooling tower. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Those opposed, motion carried. That'll be paid out of seeded funds. Thank you, Rick.
Rick, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item, we've got proposals here for our mowing program. I'll turn it over to our attorney, Jim.
We had one proposal that Right Way Turf Ornamental Incorporated. Bid is signed, non-inclusion affidavit is signed. We have a certified check. It's a bid over for 3 years and 5 years. Year one is $202,051.88. Bid 5, if that is where it goes, is $228,781.15. So I would advise to take it under advisement so I can go through each year and make sure the numbers jive. But it had a 3-year and a 5-year option, and he bid every year for next 8 years. So we can choose 3 or 5 year ones. We just need to take those, so I can run the numbers.
I would move them to
Take those bids under advisement.
Second.
I got a motion from Tony and a second to take those, or take that roadside bid mowing, bid under advisement. All in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried.
I will say that right away turf ornamental, and the President Steve Downen is here today. They have done this project for the last 3 years, and they've done what I consider to be an excellent job. Prior to this, we just couldn't get anybody to come and work for the county seasonal to do it. We were having to send our highway guys out on overtime to mow for a couple hours, and it just wasn't getting done. And, you know, I actually get compliments about the since Steve started doing it. So, and I remember I was in a plan commission meeting a couple months ago where we had a case out in the southwest part of the county. I think it was on 800 South, and they were showing pictures going east and west, and the roads look so nicely mown and in the pictures. And I made a point of saying, wow, that looks great. So anyway, we know this is a reasonable, respected and responsible bidder. So we will look at those closely.
Carl, I would note to clarify the record, it was 3 years and 5 years that overlapped. It wasn't consecutive. So it's not 8 years. I missed. So it's 3 years and 5 years that overlap. Okay.
Thank you, Jim. Under miscellaneous, that's the end of our published items. Under miscellaneous, we want to make everyone aware that as Jim, I think, opened those bids last week for corrugated pipe and culverts. In the midst of all the paperwork, he thought that maybe one of the items necessary to be a valid bid wasn't in the packet, but on further review it was. So we want to make everyone aware that Civil Con did submit a valid bid in the bid openings on Monday, December 1st. So we just want to make that clear here. And those we will award those bids the first meeting in January. The other item here under miscellaneous this morning, we have a guest with us from the Attorney General's office, Parker Fletcher. And Parker wants to speak to us just briefly about what they are doing up there in the Attorney General's office. And Parker, limit it to 5 minutes if you can. Thank you. Good morning.
Morning, Carl. Well, hello on behalf of Todd Rikita and the entire office. My name is Parker Fletcher, and I'm an outreach representative with the Attorney General's office. Just want to give you brief little update about some of the work we've been doing. With nearly 20,000 active cases at any given time, our office represents state officials and state agencies and defends laws passed by the legislature and challenges federal government overreach that is harmful to Hoosiers. We work to protect Hoosiers through our Consumer Protection Division, Unclaimed Property Division, Medicaid Fraud Control Unit, and much more. We protect consumers from illicit business practices, cybersecurity threats, and data privacy violations. We've obtained nearly $1 billion in settlements for Hoosiers, including hundreds of thousands from annoying and illegal robocallers. Our office has returns over $1 million in unclaimed property to Hoosiers every single week. And I'm pleased to announce that we have achieved a new record in 2025. It is our new best year. We are currently, as of right now, over $85 million. And since taking office, we've also recovered $85 million from entities allegedly engaged in Medicaid fraud. And I just wanted to touch a little bit more about unclaimed property so we can try to hit that number as to our highest mark possible before the end of the year. There are these little QR codes on these pamphlets that we give out to people all over the state. It takes you directly to our website, indianaunclaimed.gov. If you ever need help or ever have any questions about the process, there's a customer service phone number here at the bottom. Each county has at least about $1 million in unclaimed property waiting for them. And statewide, our office is holding on to about $1 billion statewide. So it's always a good idea to check for your friends and family because there's just a bunch of money sitting out there for people to claim. And with Christmas coming up, what better Christmas present is there than to let your friends and family know that you've got some money waiting out for you. Could be a couple $100s for all they know. Or it could help you pay for that gift that you're going to be giving to your family over the holidays. So thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any other questions you guys might have.
Parker, you said your office protects Hoosiers. Could you mention to Attorney General Keita to possibly look into that hit from the Ohio State player on Fernando Mendoza on the first play from scrimmage? You take a look at that. Can you mention that to Attorney General Rokita?
I will mention that to him.
Okay, thank you.
Parker, what's the process for claim? Has anyone in the room received a refund or claimed a check? I'm on the list, but the day I was in there, it was pretty cumbersome for me.
Mhm.
I gave up. Explain the process to us.
So depending on the situation, it depends on the type of claim, and that can impact what kind of documentation that you have to provide. So normally you can only claim money on your own behalf, but the one instance is if you're claiming money on behalf of a deceased relative, then you have to provide documentation, including a death certificate to prove that they are in fact deceased and and therefore unable to claim themselves. And you have to provide documentation proving that you are in fact related to this person so that you have the authority to claim on their behalf. So we do get some complaints every now and then. That's a lot of paperwork and the process can be cumbersome. So that's why we've added these customer service representatives to our unclaimed team. So this phone number on the bottom, they can do the process for you actually, provided that you give them the information that they need to get it done. But they're more than happy to help you. They work from 8:30 to 4:30 on weekdays, and they can guide you through the whole process step by step.
Anyone have any questions?
And I'm more than happy to leave a stack of these here with you guys.
All right, please do.
And I'll take them and have them in the auditor's office.
Okay.
That'd be good.
Because there are people in my office that have helped people through that process.
You know, it's shocking, but I would venture to say half of you in this room are probably on the list for something. And the more properties you own, the more loans you have, the more bank accounts you have, the more probability that you're on the list.
Yeah.
So Corbett, you're probably on the list with as much as you've got.
Yeah.
The average Hoosier out there has a claim on average of about like $100 more or
Yeah,
less. It's a lot of people think that this is some sort of like 1 in a million jackpot lottery thing. It's quite common for people to have money out there waiting for them.
Well, and a lot of times, tell us why would there be money waiting for me?
Well, because it can be a whole host of things, stocks and bonds, insurance proceeds, BMV settlements, overpaid utility bills, things like that. And insurance proceeds is a big one. But there's a list on the back of these that has a not exhaustive, but a pretty detailed list of some of the things that it can be. And when you go to the website, it'll tell you what type of claim it is and where it came from and how long it's been there. And it's important to note that we hold on to the money for 25 years. If after 25 years, your money's not been claimed, then the state takes it. It goes into the general fund. So we always try to give people as much time as possible. And like I said, it's always good to check for friends and family because while you can only claim money that is yours on your own behalf, you can look up anyone you want. So you can just go to our website and type in friends or family. And if you find money for someone that you know, you can go ahead and let them know that they have money waiting for them. And, maybe charge them a little finder's fee and say, hey, I found $100 for you. So why don't you take me out to a dinner or something to repay me or something like that.
Parker, after your last visit, when you came and told us that, I mentioned this to a bunch of my family members at a reunion, and they wouldn't do it because they think it's a law enforcement sting.
Well, thank you, Parker, for coming down this morning, making everybody aware again. And we wish you the best here this holiday season. And thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Parker.
Yep.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Anything else to come before this board this morning from Zoom land or here in the room? Seeing nothing, we are adjourned. We will be back here next Monday morning at 10 o'clock